Sometimes keeping your dignity means having to choose to be alone. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how sometimes keeping your self-worth, keeping your self-respect and keeping your dignity means you have to choose to be alone. So yeah, let's get started. Okay. So one thing about me is that respect for me is something which is non-negotiable. If I am talking to a person, I will certainly have respect for them, and that would be visible in the way I talk and in the way I, react and act. And I expect the same from the other person, and this is something which is non-negotiable for me because I feel there is no relationship in this world, whether it's between siblings, parents, or between friends or between partners, that no relationship can last or no relationship can be non-toxic if there is no respect. So for me, respect has been something which I keep at the utmost. But whenever I felt that someone tried to overstep the boundaries, or when someone tried, they don't have the best intentions towards me, or that someone tried to mock me or make me question my worth, those situations have been the situations when I didn't even think, like I don't even think once, and I literally walk out of that person's life. And obviously, having such a dramatic reaction to these kind of behaviors is something which comes with a cost, and that cost sometimes means loneliness. Okay, so ever since, I guess, right after my middle school, one thing was certain about me is that I always kept my pride high. And I don't mean that I used to flaunt or I used to be, I used to think I'm better than others. No. By meaning that I kept my pride high is that I expected people to, treat me in a certain way. I didn't accept backlash, or I didn't accept like negative comments which had like no base. I wasn't ready to accept the fact that people were being disrespectful for me and then they can still stay in my life. No. That was a concept which I never accepted. So because of that reason, I experienced one of the most like heartbreaking situations. That was like literally for like 6 months I was left alone. Certain things happened to me where I was, I was people used to back bitch about me, groups were made, and things came upon my dignity. But the funny part was that despite all of these things happening, those people who were doing those stuff, who were my so-called friends, were literally so sweet on my face. Even if my so-called best friends were not back bitching about me, they were listening people talk shit about me. So if a person is listening something and not reacting, it means they are agreeing to it. So that was something which I was not ready to accept, and that was the time when I was literally left alone. And I think that was the point in my life when I was literally the most vulnerable and broken. But still, whenever I'm in tough situations, even like right now, like after 4 5 years, whenever I feel that that, oh my god, I am left alone or I'm feeling lonely, I just remember my younger self. Like, if she could deal with that situation, you can certainly do, especially after so much experience. So that was the time when I actually took like the first step of standing up for myself. Yeah, and at that time I didn't even know about this concept of self-worth and self-love and all those things. That was something which I like voluntarily chose to do. Okay, so right after that, what happened was I felt like I like for a very long period of time I felt that I was attracting toxic people because I used to have like good friendships with people, with people who I used to call them as friends for like a year or two, and later the worst versions of themselves, of that person, I would see, like literally either they would start, taking me as a competition, or they would start, causing insecurities in me, or either they would, start, overstepping their boundaries, giving personal comments and being disrespectful. So all these things were like repetitively happening, and this continued. So I guess this thing happened with me for literally like with 4 or 5 people, with people who I felt like, what, these people are literally so genuine and nice. And sometimes just because of the fact that I didn't want to leave that friendship, I used to say to myself that, what, even I think I am overthinking, or I'm over analyzing, or maybe, what, even if they're hurting me, even they're being disrespectful, maybe it's just because of the fact that they're not familiar that they're hurting me, or they're overstepping the boundaries. But the truth was, every single person knows what they do to you. If right now you're consoling yourself that maybe, what, I am over or analyzing, maybe they don't know that their actions are hurting me. Sorry, but in this era, no one is that naive. Like literally no one is. And even if they don't know that they're hurting you, if you state the same to them once or twice, I think it should be enough. If still they don't change their ways, it means that person doesn't have the best interest for you. So same things were happening. So I think like right now, when, okay, so how this topic of, dignity and loneliness came, well, not loneliness, staying alone came, because like recently I was asked, like, are you an extrovert or introvert person? So in my mind, I always thought that I was an extrovert person, because that's what my true identity is. But right after going through like so many experiences, like continuously being disrespected, whenever I feel like, as with my friends, I overshared stuff out of emotion or excitement, that things were used against me. So I turned to be this person who chose to be alone, who chose to literally mind her own business and be with her own self. It obviously took me such a long time, and right now I don't call myself as an introvert or anything, but I feel like I'm selectively extrovert, because I feel like our words, our time, our energy carries value. So if I'm entertaining those people, despite knowing the fact that they don't have the best interest for me, that they don't think, that they're not going to do the same thing for me as I'm doing for them, then it's just waste of time and energy to even talk with them. So like sometimes, like, I don't choose to be alone, I don't choose to spend my time alone, but it's something that I have to do in order to protect my sanity, or in order to keep my dignity at the top. This is something which is a personal choice I make. I have seen people who are literally social butterflies, like literally people who were close to me, they were literally social butterflies, but at the same time they had to, accept so much uh hate, sometimes so much disrespect in form of jokes. Like they had to literally experience so much, because they were not ready to speak up for themselves, because they knew if they speak up, the other person will stop talking to them, and that's not what they want. So like sometimes we literally have to make conscious choices. Making this conscious choice of being selective with people I surround myself with is something which I feel works for me, because I will forever choose to be, like spend my time in a productive way. Either I can cook a meal for me, I can go for shopping, I can read a novel, or I can simply, Netflix. But then I think that is more valuable than to literally waste my time and energy on people who cannot even, give me the basic necessity, something which is non-negotiable, that is respect. So if you are someone who is experiencing the same, and you feel like, what, life is unfair, or that, what, like you are not able to you're not able to find your sort of people, I'm just gonna say this thing to you, that you're not alone. Like right now, like if I get a chance to be around with like people who are supportive, who wants to see each other grow, I would literally like have open arms. and surround myself with those people, but it's so hard to find those set of people. And I feel over time, people find ways to improve their life. I know that right now I don't have that kind of group, or I don't have that kind of lifestyle, but then I feel like if I work on myself, I will attract better. And even and like at right now, I feel even if I don't find those set of people who are like-minded, I'm fine being alone as well, because for me, entertaining myself with people who don't value me is something which is meaningless. It's something which I can never approve of. Yeah, so if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you have a nice day.